this is Dorothy with Scrapbooking, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making a combination challenge card. I'm using these four colors from Color My Heart Color Dare number 570, and I am using the sketch from Atlantic Heart Sketch Challenge 547, I believe. I am using this stamp set, and it's called All the Best Wishes, and mine has, you can get it just as a stamp, but you can also get it with thin cuts that puts a shadow around the big titles there, like Happy Birthday. Now I am inking this sentiment up several times. It's called seasoning, and you're just getting the excess oils and whatever else might be there to, stop you from getting a good strong stamp. So that's one way of seasoning your stamps, and the other way is just running it against your skin, and that gets rid of the excess oils also. You also have a chance of getting ink on yourself, but what's new with that? So these are really what I like about this stamp set is that the sentiments are so big and bold. I mean, you have no idea, no misconception of what is being said here. And so I like the hello. Now, the reason why I did three different ones is because I don't know which sentiment I want to put on this card, and I'm going to let the card tell me in the end, and you'll see what I mean. So here is the thin cut, and since I went ahead and stamped it first, I am manipulating the thin cut around to make sure it's evenly spaced all around the sentiment. And this is a really good way of thin cut and stamping, is to do the stamping first. You have a little bit better chance of getting a very even stamping in the middle, or getting your stamp in the middle of your thin cut. I usually do it the other way just because I don't know why. So here's my thank you, and I'm just evening it up and then using some washi tape to hold it down. I ran it through off camera. I ran it through my die cut and embossing machine that I purchased from Close to My Heart, and it is like, out of the several that I've had, this is the best one because you can adjust the tension and the pressure on your machine. And so if you have particularly detailed thin cut that doesn't maybe cut all the way through, this takes care of it. So I love that because I wasted a lot of paper trying to figure out how to add shims, enough shims to make sure that my thin cut detailed piece would get cut out properly. Not with this machine. I just absolutely love it. So I finished up a roll of White Shimmer Trim. And I used my White Shimmer Trim because I wanted to make sure I didn't have all of the colors that I'm using on this card. And they are Journey, Glacier, Ballerina, and Mink. And so I am just inking my White Shimmer Trim to exactly match those colors. So, and you can use this when you're making other cards or you're making your scrapbook pages. If you want an exact duplicate of the ink that you're using, then you can use a sponge dauber and ink up your shimmer trim. You can also kind of use I usually get the re-inker with whenever I buy a stamp pad. And that way I know that stamp pad will have a very long life because it alone lasts for a long time, but with the re-inker, it'll go for decades. So I'm using the Mink right now, and what I found is I really needed to ink up my ink pad really well. A somewhat dry ink pad isn't going to accomplish what you need to accomplish when you're inking your shimmer trim. So everybody got all inked up. And here's the Glacier. Whoops, he got off camera. I have this problem a lot. I think I have short arms. I think that's what my problem is. I tend to work very close to my body. And anyway, my problem, your frustration, I apologize. So I am going ahead and inking up the Glacier. And initially I was going to cut these strips in half and just make real thin pieces going across. But I decided that I would just do it this way. So there's the Ballerina. Now, before I inked up my Ballerina, man, I could barely get the shimmer trim to show any color at all. So I clearly needed to ink up my pad. So I am having no problem whatsoever getting plenty of color. There's the clear shimmer brush, and that's the same thing you can do with that is if you have a number of clear shimmer brushes and you want to match your ink, then you can put a few drops, several drops, 4 or 5 drops of your re-inker into the clear shimmer brush, and you're perfect. You have a perfect match. So the paper that I used, so this is called Majestic Holographic paper, and we still carry it. This was clearly in my scraps, that my stash of scraps that I just keep and use all the time, especially when I'm using my die cut and embossing machine. I have all the scraps right there that I can just grab and make whatever color. So this piece just happened to be, it was perfect. It happened to be 5.5 by 4.25, but it had a hole in it. So I was planning on making a black background, so I decided to use the Majestic Holographic paper to kind of match the colors that are on the strips. So it has somewhat of a pinkish hue, but there's mostly blues in this one. And we have all the colors of holographic paper are available right now. So you have all different things to choose from. So now I needed to kind of space these out. And so I decided to put like a 1/2 inch black space on the one side. Now I am cutting dovetails and slanted cuts on all of my strips of shimmer trim, but I'm just going to do that off camera because that's boring. And I'm going to use my scissor, and hopefully I don't poke myself, but I'm using my scissor to get in between the clear tape that keeps the shimmer from sticking to everything. So you have to separate that from the actual shimmer trim. So you have to kind of hold it close up and get in between. It's kind of easier if you've got the clear side facing you. And I'm going to do another. It's a little picky. You could use, if you have a poking tool, you could use that, or a pin, or whatever you happen to have. But I do like to use my scissors to do it. My microtip scissors are so good for so many different things. They are the best ever scissors. That is truly one of my favorite tools. I mean, I love my die cut and embossing machine, but the microtip, especially the Teflon coated microtip scissors, oh my goodness, they last forever. They're very sharp. They cut detail just beautifully. And for a job like this, they work perfectly. So I'm just I'm not paying attention to how I'm putting my strips. They're up and down from each other. They're not the same length. So, and we've got about a 1/2 inch showing of black on both sides. So I see I'm trying those out. I really think the happy birthday was as festive as this is with all the shiny everything. I'm using happy birthday. And I found, so this was also in my stash, it's a little piece of white, could even be a blushing pink. It looks like there's a very small hint of pink in there, but mostly white. Glitter paper, and I'm cutting it on a slant. I'm trying to make it match up because it's going to be on a slant. So I'm using thin 3D foam tape, and I'm going to pop up the sentiment from the background of the glitter paper. And you want to use either this the foam tape, or you want to use liquid glue, because just regular tape runner is not going to stick to the glitter paper. It just won't. So the thin foam tape, or whichever, thin or thick foam tape, they both hold well to the glitter paper. And there's my happy birthday, and you can see it standing up a little bit. And then I'm going to put it on a slant. I didn't cut my slant right on the right-hand side. So left is perfect, but if I do this, it's going to get wonky. And if I do it by hand, I just don't want to do it by hand. So I'm going over to my paper cutter, and I am cutting it the way I was supposed to cut it. I made 2 little snips and was cutting in between the snips. Well, I missed one of the snips. But I was cutting in the dark too. Didn't turn the paper. I was doing this early in the morning. Really early in the morning. Okay, and so here I'm gonna, since I'm sticking the glitter paper to the shimmer trim, I also need to use the double stick foam so that it will stick well to the shimmer trim. And there's my card for the most part. So now there's, along with these super bold sentiments, you have these little tiny ones in here with the background is a solid background. So it's a negative. And you have all sorts of good sentiments that can go with a number of different things. And I am choosing, because I'm being kind of whimsical with this card anyway, I am choosing to put these sentiments on at angles to each other to kind of make the inside look kind of fun. And I'm just using my intense black ink to stamp it. So it's your day, celebrate, Yahoo! And that's going right there in the middle. So I thought that was just kind of a fun thing to do. I kind of live by the moment, and that just seemed to be the thing to do. So I'm giving an XOXO, and then I'll sign my name. That one didn't come out perfectly. The imperfectness of us as humans. So there's my happy birthday card, and I decide, too much is not enough. So I kind of decide that I want to add some sequins to it. And I'm kind of looking around for my sequins right now. I have my box full of sequins that I use to make shaker windows. And, you get a small bag when you buy the sequins. The problem is that small bag has hundreds and hundreds of sequins in it. So it's, you're hard-pressed to use them all. So I end up having kind of a lot of sequins to choose from. This is the one box of sequins that I've used probably the least, the different color ones. But then I looked at it and I thought, oh, well, it's got blues and pinks. It's got dark blues and light blues and pinks and whites and iridescence, and it's like, okay, well that's like the right sequin box to choose from. And there's things in here that I didn't even know were in here. And you know, it's kind of funny because they're little bitty black flowers that are little teensy flowers. And you don't really see them till you start messing around with all the sequins. And if there's one against a white sequin, then you can kind of see it. So I don't like that one being so big, so I'm going to look for a small pink one. And they're all sticking to my fingers. They're like going all over the place. It's sticking to everything. And I'm trying to get it to stay off, get off. I think I'm putting them where I want them to be, but I move them all around. Okay, so in there is a teensy little black flower. And I am going to use that for the dot on the eye, because why not? So you can't see it very well, but the person who opens the card will be able to see it. So I just wanted to add a little bit more dimension to the card. And so I just kind of thought, well, the sequins will do it. And the way I put them down is by just adding a dot of the Tombow multi-use glue, liquid glue, and my little wax stick from close to my heart that picks up the sequins and puts them down easily, and it really makes handling the sequins very easy. And see, now you can kind of see that flower a little bit better. There's the pink sequin and another pink sequin. So there's my happy birthday card. And sequins popping up all over the place. So there's the card and the stamps that I used, Ballerina and Mink and Journey and Glacier for the colors. And I used All the Best Wishes for my stamp and thin cut set. And the Atlantic Heart Sketch Challenge and the Color My Heart Color Dare Challenge brought you this card. The combination of it all brought you this card. So there we are, doing a little bit of a close-up. Ta-da! Thanks for watching. Bye now.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Smith. Thanks for watching my video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and learn along with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.